I mean, if you live in America, the construct of race is
oppressive.
Categorized in a way that doesn't make sense to me, but I guess it is oppressive. I will say so. I would say it's illogical as well.
So there is no such thing as oppression love. Does it make sense to you now?
Yeah.
Okay. So
but that doesn't.
There is a oppression, a stigma, or better, there's another word other than stigma, but there's an oppression angle to interracial as it exists, because no one, black at least, has chose interracial love in the past 400 years. We didn't choose to come to America and be black and decide we was going to. Actually, for most of those 400 years, interracial love was non-consensual until 1967. It was 57. I think it's 1957. We got Loving versus Virginia, not because we marched in the streets and wanted it, not because we protested and stood our ground and said, we want to marry white women. That never happened. Peace of Pan-Africanism. My name is Brother Legend, and I'm here to raise your consciousness. What's going on, y'all? Welcome to another live. If you're catching us on YouTube, my TikTok is BIGBROLGND. You can catch us there, or on any platform, BIGBROLGND. My name is Brother Legend. As always, I'm here to raise your consciousness. Continuing the topic we talked about before, had an interesting conversation around it. What's going on? Hi. So if you're joining us on YouTube, the live is held on my TikTok. Tap the top right notification bell on my live to be notified when we go live. And what's going on, y'all? Hope everybody's been safe. If you have never had pumpkin pie a day in your life, please tap like, share with a friend, comment down below. CC, what's going on, sister? If you've never eaten pumpkin pie before, tap like for me so I know y'all are in here. If you've never been graced with the presence of grape salad at your family barbecue, then tap like. If you don't even know what grape salad is, I really need you to tap like. Don't Google it. Peace, Hoodoo, what's going on, sister? Don't Google it. Don't Google grape salad. You don't even want to know. You know what I'm saying? If you close your mouth and you can still see your lips, when you do this, if you still see your lips, tap like. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to all the sisters and the brothers with soup coolers. Shout out to the people with soup coolers. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all got to cool your soup and drink, slurp your coffee through your gums. It's not a good look. It's not a good look. It's a shame. Some of y'all, all of the well-baked, you know what I'm saying? The original women in here, what's going on? Peace to my sisters, all the comrades, the brothers. What up? Today we talking about interracial love. We're talking about, does it exist in the context of hostility? Peace. What's going on, Monty? So that's really the thing is, I've got a topic up here. We can talk about it. Y'all let me know how you feel. You know what I'm saying? If you think it exists, say yes. If you think not, say no. But I'm going to say no. In the context of black oppression, how can we have love if we don't got peace? In the context of black oppression and white tea hostility, how can we have love if we don't have peace? If we don't have justice and we don't have peace, that means we still have war. And if we still have war, how do we get to love? You know what I'm saying? How do we get to love? We don't have justice, we don't have peace. And that's another thing too, is we don't have justice, we don't have peace, but we have black billionaires. Y'all don't look at them sideways. You know what I'm saying? I don't wish anything bad on any of the brothers that, you know, got money, whatever. You know what I'm saying? The billionaires, the Jay-Z's and the Diddy's of the world. You know what I'm saying? Like, but at the same time, you get what you get when you take what they giving. You feel me? No billionaire is ethical. Absolutely, Pooh. That's facts. There is no such thing as an ethical billionaire. There's definitely no such thing as an ethical black billionaire that didn't sell out his people. There's no billionaire, there's no black billionaire that did not sell out his people to get there. In one way or another. And someone said Kanye is a prime example of selling out your own people. Kanye is a prime example. Kanye don't even try to hide. Kanye don't even try to hide. He gonna let you know he's selling y'all out. Try to hide. And we know this. We've known this for a long time, but nobody got upset with Kanye until he came for the people that oppress Palestinians. When he started speaking up against the other nationalist, supremacist power in the world, imperialists, that's when Kanye became a problem. If you feel like the TikTok is like that, then this may not be the TikTok for you. A lot of black dudes on the DL these days as well. What do you mean by DL? What do you mean by DL? Do you mean the Usher Diddy DL, or do you mean on the white tea supremacy DL? Totally disagree. Love is love. Key, why? Why, Key? Why do you feel that way, Key? And what form of love are you talking about? Because love is not a universal concept. When you say love is love, usually y'all mean what Europeans have taught you was love. Do y'all mean romance? It's in the word Roman, Roman, Rome. Where is Rome? And then you want to turn around and say they didn't teach you how to love. They taught you what love is. There were different definitions of love, different ways of expressing love through different societies and civilizations throughout mankind's history. Only when we get to Europeans do we get head over heels, falling in love, emotions over logic. Only when we get to Europeans do we get Romeo and Juliet. Even though the two families are at war, they too can feel like they have love. Uh-oh, Chat Pappy. Be careful. Hey, man, chill. Rome was definitely a little free with their definitions, but why can't both exist? Love and logic. They can both exist, but they don't exist when it's interracial. Because you can't say it's logical. You can't say it's logical. If there's hostility, there could be no love. How is there love in the midst of hostility? How are you the recipient of hostility and also going to find love beyond, having peace for yourself? Appreciate you, Kron. Peace to Brother Kron. Everyone that see Kron that sent the glasses in the comments, go follow that brother too. He's another Pan-African creator. But yeah, you can't have love in the presence of hostility. You can't have love in the lack of peace. So let's talk about it. J4J, you're the guest on the panel. Could you give us your age, race, and pronouns, please?
Black, identify as 5, and he, him.
All right, talk to us.
So are you saying that two people of a different race can have Eros type love for each other, romantic type love for each other, agape love for each type of each other? Like, what kind of love are you talking about?
The types of love that you just brought up are all Eurocentric. So um that's not
Mhm.
uh that's not the kind of love I was talking about, but
Well,
if we're
there's,
going to talk about love as a feeling, then
you
we could
mean
talk.
like, are you talking about like platonic love? I mean, there's all kinds of love. You're talking about romantic love? Because I know a lot of interracial couples who have really deep romantic love, but also
Still
agape love.
Eurocentric. You see what he said? We're talking about two
What?
people. Romantic, it's in the name, roman. Eros
Yeah,
is a Greek word. Agape is a Greek word. Everything you just said is Greek. Like, have you
yeah,
ever heard Bob Marley, One Love? When I'm
yeah.
talking about love, I'm talking about Africa. I have one love for everybody. I love my wife the same way I love my sister, the same way I love my mother. Love has nothing to do with sex. So I don't have
I
eros
agree.
love for some. I don't have godly love for others, brotherly love. Like I got one love for everybody. And there's certain people I can love and do things with, like my wife. And then there's other people that I'm not doing things with, but I love them just the same. I don't have a level of love for one where I love this person more than the next. I either love you or I don't. So, but that's my
Okay.
ancestors' definition. That's how we looked at it. And we also looked at it from a communal aspect as opposed to individualism, which, if we're talking about interracial love, I know a lot of people are going to come up here with their individual account of, some sort of anecdote where they're like, I know a couple that they love each other and they're living out in the woods away from society and they're living just fine. And, that's great, but that's on an individual basis. Romeo and Juliet did just fine with each other, but damn near their whole family, if not the whole family, I haven't seen the play in a while, got unalived in the process. So they were very selfish and they unalived themselves. So
Okay. But yeah, I think the fact that interracial two people who are of a different race love each other, however you want to, whatever kind of love it is, they still love each other, and that the fact that that exists, that refutes your prompt here because they have love for each other despite being of a different race.
Yeah, but Jay,
so
the problem is your understanding of love is literally Eurocentric. Like the
well,
entirety of the construct of what we deem as being considered love today directly comes from oppression. It comes from our oppressors. It comes
That's
from enslavement. That's literally where our interpretation of masculinity, femininity, the fact that we even consider them to be different for some weird reason, that is all Eurocentric.
Strict
Even
definition of
us
love.
having a language, even the language that we are speaking right now is literally, in the words of Dr. Amos Wilson, psychologist Dr. Amos Wilson, we are literally speaking a colonizer language right now. Like, so
uh,
your deepest, most intimate thoughts are in the language of people groups that forced us into enslavement. So why wouldn't we question every single piece of what we deem as being normal? Like it would make sense to question everything because everything that we have been
sure.
force fed so far has been directly force fed to us from Europeans. So
Sure, but we can see this idea or this practice or belief of love in pretty much every culture. How it may manifest differently, but it's still
again, you're
you would still call
interpreting
it.
what your
We could still call it
Eurocentric
love,
lens.
right? What'd you say?
Again, your interpretation of that is from a Eurocentric lens.
No, that's
Like if
not
you're
true.
saying,
That's not true.
well,
Like
you say it's not true, but we already
yeah.
established that we very much so have colonized mindsets.
I mean, I could look at
So
like places where that haven't been colonized, like in Thailand or Japan, and I could see that, hey, like this mom has this sacrificial love for her child. That's something that didn't come from Europe. That's just something I I believe
You
just
do
comes
realize that we're
from
talking
human
about
nature.
black people and we're prioritizing black people, right? Like that's you do understand that we're prioritizing black people, and that, what I find really strange is that there's always this desire to reach out to random other cultural groups in order to try to prove a point pertaining to just us simply talking about loyalty within the black community when it comes to relationships, when it comes to questioning whether or not certain things are Eurocentric versus Afrocentric. Like it's really strange that we keep doing that. It's like
No,
it's like
I
we're
just use
embracing.
that as an example. I'm not like, because not everything is
Yeah,
like
but it's common
Eurocentric. Like Europe
for
didn't
individuals to
have an
do.
influence in every nook and cranny of the globe. Um, so
How do you
I
know
just
that
use that.
everything isn't Europe?
Who said that?
That's just like they didn't colonize every single land area in the world.
If you colonize most of the land, that the places you didn't colonize still need to come to the places you did colonize in order to have an economy. You kind of colonized everywhere.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, friend, that's how economics and
What's
economics works.
interesting is
Like that.
on
I
his
mean,
page,
that's just
he speaks on,
globalization.
hold on. On your page, you're into like police brutality. And you see the issues of what's happening with black people, particularly black men. It seems like that's a lot of your content. So in the midst of this conversation, at what point have any of your quote unquote opposite sex or opposite race, when have they fought for your liberation? You see the oppression of black men, particularly when it comes to police, but where are the white women and non-black women that are marching and pushing any laws to help protect you? Even when it comes to the anti-lynching bill, excuse my French,
Yeah.
where is that fight at that they love you so much?
Yeah.
Where's
I'm
the
not.
love in your liberation?
No, I think of things like more. I think it's more complex than this, or more. It's not just like white people, right? Like,
I
because
said
I live
non-black.
in California, right? There are a lot
That's
of different ethnicities, right? And I see black men with brown skinned women. You know, they could be mestizos, Latinas. They could be from like South Asia. Um, and there, I see all kinds of different interracial couples from white, black, brown, all in between, right? Because it's a very cosmopolitan area where I live, right? And I just and I see I don't see it as like a racial thing. I just think, hey, like they seem to have like a genuine love for each other, and I don't and I assume that it has nothing to do with skin color. It's just,
What
hey,
is
I just love
genuine
this
I
love?
think
person.
we need to practice racial conservatism. That's the key. People call
Wait,
me a bigot. They call me a racist. I can't be racist. It's
did you
not
say
possible for a
racial
man to be racist. That's
conservatism?
right. Racial conservatism. What does that
I've
mean?
never
That
heard
means
that before.
doing what is necessary to conserve your particular race. Okay, your
Oh
phenotype. You can't
wow.
listen. You can't talk about black liberation and you got the daughter of the enslaver on your arm. How is that possible? Okay, you're either going to be. You can't serve two masters. Okay, a house divided against itself cannot stand. It's real simple. Okay, so all this stuff to the side. All right, it's real simple. Read up on Urugu by Marimba Ani, and she's going to explain this to you how the insertion of the Eurocentric mindset into every aspect. Of course, go into the compensatory code, Neely Fuller. All right, and
Mm-hmm.
you combine that with the psychological. I forget what the actual name for Dr. Amos Wilson did a number on the psychodynamics for black males of the black mind, and he's talked about that. But of course, he wraps all that up in the blueprint for Black Power.
Mm-hmm.
But remember, anytime you talk about power at all, in a political sense, it's numbers. If you take a look at everything that Becky has done, just as Malcolm X warned us,
Okay.
the insurgency of white liberalism has managed to not only undermine the black family, the black community, black male leadership, but also has literally ensconced white power dynamics within the black collective, so that even our movements and some of the things we are having conversations about have been prescribed to us by Becky. If you take a look at things like the 4B movement, what does that got to do with black people? Look at the patriarchy. I mean, just about the time that black men, we came together, created a circle and moved ourselves forward in the right direction. Now they want to tell us, can you define what a woman is? Can you define what a man is? Hello? That's not our fight. That is not our chemistry. That's something that Becky created because she is recruiting women of color to get her one ambition, and that is white power.
Okay.
That is
Can I
what
ask you
she
this
has always
question,
wanted.
sir?
And she's going to get it by recruiting women of color to align themselves with her on the false premise of quote unquote womanhood. But read Marimba Ani, and she'll tell you
Marimba
that
Blondie.
the black feminism and white feminism are two separate worlds.
Mhm.
So what about like interracial love amongst people, the so-called people of color, like black
You know
people and
what?
Asian people,
You know what?
indigenous and black
The flesh
people?
will want what it wants, but you have to use your rational mind. If in fact if you're conscious, if you're unconscious, you can fall into anything. But if you're conscious and you understand the environment in which you have been placed, you cannot align yourself, okay, with a situation where you are literally in conflict and open battle. There is a war on blackness. There's anti-blackness is a global phenomenon. And at the end of the day, when push comes to shove, okay, she's going to run over and get her a piece of that picnic. That's what she's going to do. She's going to be on the other side of that picnic real quick when push comes to shove. So we've got to take a look. Racial conservatism. People call you a racist. You're not a racist, but I'm a racial conservative. I truly believe that. We told our sons and our daughter, hey, look, make sure don't bring Becky back up in here. Our philosophy in our family is if you are not black, you are white. What does that mean? That means if you're black, that means you're part of you're part of that group of people for whom this world has decided will be the minority upon which everyone else will climb. Okay. But if you're not black, you're white. What does that mean? That means you benefit from or participate in anti-black racism. That's all there is to it. That's the end of the day. All this brown people and people of color is nonsense. It's a multicultural distraction. If you're not black, you're white. All right. If you're white, you're a racist. Period.
All
Yeah.
right.
Can I say?
Well, that was a blunt tool in a nuanced conversation, but I think brother hit the mark, man. That's the bullseye right there. Absolutely, you went straight for the jugular, right? He ain't playing around.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
it's there, man, like a lot, right?
Mhm.
Because it's just not black and white, right? There are many, many different ethnicities, my
Yeah.
friend.
All right.
J for
What book
J,
said
can you
that?
tell me?
Yeah.
What book said that? Because that brother just mentioned like 4 or 5 books. What books have you read that can back what you're talking about?
Combat what?
That can. What books have you read that can back what you're claiming here today? Do you have any outside sources to back your thesis that despite an anti black world in the context of racism, white supremacy, I'll give you another book, The ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Welsing. Can you back that interracial love does exist with some sort of source outside yourself? Maybe a doctor, a PhD, because he gave you like 4, I just gave you another one, so that's 4.
I don't know what you mean by love. Like, can you define what love is?
You know what interracial is, right?
Yeah.
All right. So what is a race? Is it a
I
is it a
guess you could say.
spectrum? Like is it a neutral spectrum? Just a neat way to categorize people,
I
or is
mean,
it
if you live in America, the construct of race is
oppressive?
categorized in a way that doesn't make sense to me, but
But
I
is
guess
it oppressive?
it is oppressive.
Is it?
I will say so. I would say
Okay. So
it's
race is oppression.
illogical as well.
So there is no such thing as oppression love. Does it make sense to you now?
Yeah,
Okay. So
but that
we know that
doesn't.
there is
Yeah.
a oppression, uh, a stigma, or better, there's another word other than stigma, but there's an oppression angle to interracial as it exists because no one, black at least, has chose interracial love in the past 400 years. We didn't choose to come to America and be black and decide we was going to. For most of those 400 years, interracial love was non-consensual until 1967. It was with 57. I think it's 1957. We got Loving versus Virginia, not because we marched in the streets and wanted it, not because we protested and stood our ground and said we want to marry white women. That never happened.
Okay, so what about? Do you believe that?
67. My bad.
Do you believe that true love, just like whatever how you define it, can exist between two oppressed people of two oppressed groups, like indigenous like an indigenous woman and a black man.
Okay. So, what I'm trying to say when I say love, if you think of love as just a feeling, an emotion, then not only are you minimalizing it down to uh what hold on. What? Okay. All right. Well, someone got in trouble. TikTok didn't like what someone said, probably him. Um, y'all down in the comments, whoever's a moderator, remember we got some Yurugu in here, so you know what I'm saying? Don't be afraid to block folks. Anyway, what was I saying? Under the context that we're speaking on, we're talking about black oppression and we're talking about race. We have to understand that these terms have oppression at the focus of them. So when we're talking about love and interracial and race, we're talking about war. So it's like two sides of a battlefield are at war, and you're sitting here talking about, well, it's possible for them to have genuine love, even though black people were brought to this country and I don't know, did racism end? No. Is mass incarceration over? No. Is medical racism over? No. Is police brutality over? No. So these people that we're talking about we can love haven't ended, or even the people that you're bringing up haven't really stood up to put an end to any of these forms of oppression. They follow behind us. When we stand up, they'll join our movement. But where's the mestizo movement to end police brutality? What have they done? What's their track record? Where's the Asian movement to stop medical racism? You know, a lot of them are doctors. Like what is going on? You see what I'm saying? Like none of them are putting in that work. They put in that work when we start Black Lives Matter worldwide. Everybody stand up. Okay, black people standing up for themselves. We'll stand with you. Yay. But what I'm trying to say is, at the end of the day, with all this hostility around, if you want to minimize love through just a feeling between two individuals, I could almost just give you just that. I mean, it's like trying to grab a head full of hair on a bald man, but you're going for it. So, all right, that I still would say is infatuation, but if you want to call that love, my friend, okay, you got that. But when we're talking about love, we're talking in more of a critical thinking, more mature version of love. I'm a married man. It's more than just feelings that I have for my wife. If
Yeah,
sometimes
I
I don't
agree that love
feel
is more
like
than just
loving my wife,
feelings.
but I'll still wake up and I'm committed to that woman. I'm committed to our goal together, and and that what brings us together wasn't just a feeling. It was that's my best friend. So I know that even if I don't love her feeling wise right now, that I still love her because of what we've been through, you know?
Yeah, and that can exist between like a black person and a Asian person.
Not by choice by that black person. And that's the thing. That's like saying if a white tea man, or let's say a person, right? Person A kidnaps woman B from her house, locks her up in his basement, doesn't feed her, doesn't clothe her, doesn't make sure she has anything that she needs, and then doesn't improve any of that condition. But then one day he comes down and says, you know what? Me and my friends voted, and we think it's legal to love you now. I love you. And that woman were to say, I love you back, in the midst of her oppression, in the midst of her still being subjected to mistreatment by that person that took her from her people, you would say that that woman has Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah, but with that analogy, it wouldn't apply to like other people of color, right? Like,
It would apply to other people of color because they have no problem walking around this person's house and keeping it up and keeping the chains on that woman.
mm, I don't know about that, man. I mean,
Yeah,
I
because
think a lot of indigenous people rock with black people.
they measure their oppression by their ability not to be white people.
I
And
see.
you think that makes them the same as us. They measure their oppression by the ability not to oppress others. That's not the same thing as us. They,
Okay.
and
All right. I have like one last point. Don't you think that this is like a fight that you're just going to lose because it's inevitable when people like are around other ethnic groups, they're just gonna it's bound to happen where they're gonna get married and have children. And I think I read like I think I think it was Time magazine. They said they had like a picture of what America will look like 100 years from now, and they say it's going to be just brown. It's going to turn browner and browner and browner. And it seems like to me like America is going to be more like Brazil. How they're like racially mixed, like in 100 years from now. And I
Brazil
just think it's
black. Brazil
inevitable.
has more black people than anybody else. It's not going to get browner. It's going to get blacker. And the thing is, if there's a scientific study on this as well, where they lock two people in a room. If you lock two people in a room, they'll both come out loving each other. Lock two people in a room for 30 days. Within that 30 days, with no sunlight, with no way of telling time, those two people will come out loving each other.
Yeah, and
They'll
that's
love each
happening.
other.
That's happening in America. Like people, they
Exactly.
move into neighborhoods of other ethnic groups. They intermingle, and you're
And
just bound to
you know
like
what the
fall
name
in
of that
love.
experiment is?
What's up?
Know what the name of that experiment is?
What is it?
Stockholm Syndrome experiment. You can go ahead and look it up. Yeah, it's Stockholm Syndrome, buddy. That's what I'm trying to tell you. We're a psychologically defeated people because we sit up here and want to talk about how we can love people that have never shown us any love. We can love people in the midst of it's still happening right now.
But
It
you're
hasn't
talk
stopped. We
you're
can talk
talking.
about interracial love 400 years after racism is over, and me and you be having a completely different conversation. But it's
Yeah,
still
but
happening.
you're speaking like in very broad term. Like you're saying, oh, that this group is going to be like that, as if every individual of that group is that way.
But see, that's the thing. The need to break things down into individualism is Eurocentric, but also dilutes our conversation now to give you room for subjectivity. Now you're looking for ways to make things subjective. Well, maybe this person is a Rastafarian Muslim Chinese man, and he just happens to love a black vegan, hippie girl. Like you see what I'm like? You're making like you're finding ways to find these exceptions that we're talking about society, we're talking about social constructs, and we're definitely talking about race. We're not talking about individuals.
I see. I
But let
see.
me go to the next
All
guy.
right, I'll drop. Take
All right.
care.
All right. Peace. Master Javi, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
My age is 27. My race is melanated.
That's not a race.
Well, I don't have a race then, but
You do have a race.
huh?
You do have a race.
I don't believe in races.
No, but it don't matter what you believe in. Race is a social construct, not a hobby construct. So in society, you have a race attributed to you. Sir, what is your race?
Melanated.
Melanated meaning black?
Is black a race?
Yes.
No, sir. Black is a color.
So is melanated.
Melanin is not a color.
Yes, it is. Look up the Greek etymology of the word melanated. The word melanated comes from the word melos, meaning black.
Well, no. I'm talking in terms of genetics. That's
And
what we're
you don't got to
melanated
get
beings.
into genetics. We're talking about there's no such thing as racial genetics. You just didn't believe in race. Now you believe in you believe in
No,
eugenics.
just genetics, man. Not no race, because there's no such thing as race. Those are just
No, there is a such thing
entomology
as race. There shouldn't be a
put
such
on
thing as
us.
race. But there is a such thing as race. I mean, if you want to get into there's a no such thing as anything type of, nihilistic view on the world, then there's no such thing as country. There's no such thing as America. There's no such. What are we? Am I an alien? Who knows? Like, but we're talking about like in reality, melanated means black. So are you saying you're a black person?
Does melanated mean black?
Yes. Look up the definition. Look up. Oh my goodness, bro. Why do y'all not know this? Everyone that comes up here and says, I'm not black, I'm melanated, they don't even know what the hell that shit means. It's wild to me. Melanated, melos is the Greek word. The root word of melanated, melos, is the Greek word meaning black or of dark color. It means black.
I did not know that. That's something new to that. That's something new
So
that I
black.
learned. Though.
So it's like there's no way around that.
I
There's no
wasn't
other
debating
word.
with you, man. I was just trying to figure out if that was it or not. Cause I've known neuromelanin and the term and melanin and every different type of melanin for quite some time, and I didn't even look up the etymology for that. So that's crazy.
Yeah, it means black. So I mean,
But yeah, man, it's just I don't conform to any type of race because I know the history of race and all of these aliases that's been falsely denoted on us
So
as a
pause right
people.
there. So pause right there. When you go to the hospital, what do you check when you check in?
I don't even go to the hospital no more, but if we
Stop
just
playing.
saying this for
When
the
you go
sake
to
of
the
the
hospital,
conversation, I'll
when
put
you go to the
I'll
hospital, do you check
No, I'm
others?
doing this for a reason
why
because it's
y'all
like it's
doing this,
irrelevant.
man?
Why do y'all do this to black people, but y'all conform for the white man when you go
I
to
know
the
the police
hospital?
officer pull you over. You say we're I'm melanated.
Exactly.
I'll say no, hey, I'll say, hey, look, I'm my own person. That's all I say.
Man, get
say
out
that.
of here. When they check you in, they gonna put you with the rest of the melanated black folks.
Hey, it'd be like that.
Yep.
But nah, I wanted to just chime in real quick because this is actually a pretty decent topic that nobody else is talking about when it comes to any type of racial anything. Now, I do agree with you on the entire subject as far as we should not be breeding or mixing in any type of shape or form.
Breeding is wild. Careful.
Oh yeah, TikTok. I forgot.
Animals breed, man. We human. But go ahead.
Yeah. Used to call
But
the plantation breeding plantations. That's you don't want to associate us as black people with the breeding plantations. That was something
right. Let me use a better word: procreate. Procreate with or mix procreate with different groups of people because it's not even just about the history. Regardless of what part of history you guys believe or have dissected, it's not even we're not even talking about. I know this live would be talking about the history side, but I'll be talking more about the genetics because that's very important. I think a lot of people, if not 90% of the populace, ignore that because of false education.
Ignore what?
The genetics behind the science or the biology of why we shouldn't even be procreating with other races of people in general, because that makes imbalance in the gene. Regardless, even though we as a people, we can still drown out. We as a melanated people still have a higher dominant gene compared to other races of people, and even if we make mixed babies, that mixed baby is going to turn out, not majority of that mixed baby is going to have majority melanated genetics or prokaryotic cells. We still shouldn't be mixing in general because of our two distinct biological differences and how we eat, how we think, how we look at things. It's to the point where, and it may sound crazy to some, but we've normalized crazy. So to the point where we don't even know that we should, as a people, shouldn't even be living in the same environment as other races of people because of those distinct differences. So in a whole, it's just very unwise in general to be marrying, dating, any type of intimacy in general with the other race because of those biological imbalances. Now, I'm not saying I'm not going to go too far
All
to the
right, we gotta
left
stop you
side and
there. We
say,
gotta stop you there. We gotta stop you there. Cause you're making it sound like a whole different other species. Do you believe that melanated people are not human, or?
yeah, well, because that would go into a whole different live. From my research, we have.
We'll just hold up real quick.
From what
Like
I
there
from what
is
I've
like
dissected.
to your point, family, there is some research that does corroborate like what you're saying with like the differences in genetic structures, and of course with higher concentrations of naturally produced melanin. That actually it is attributed to anti-aging properties. It's also attributed to protection from harmful rays from the sun, and also
Correct.
higher concentrations of naturally produced melanin is linked to higher cognitive function. So technically speaking, the most melanated people on the planet are actually would by default, because of that melanin, would be the most intelligent as well as the most, yeah. So I mean, there is science that does corroborate, what you're saying. However, it's important to acknowledge still the fact that evolution still plays a role in all of that. Like black people, we are the blueprint, absolutely, but we definitely still are like modern Homo sapiens. Like we are still that. Like everybody on
We
the
have
planet
no
today is
animal
still
DNA
Homo sapien.
we have no animal or mammal is correlated to us in whatsoever. You can look that up on Google. Like
All right.
it's
Well, I mean,
certain
So
when we
information.
do look that up, we can actually see that we did originate like through like evolution is very much so a thing, family. Like they have found multiple stages of ancient African hominids that have like they found these fossils. They have found the burial sites. You go to South Africa, they literally have whole teams of archaeologists exploring different caves because they are literally finding bone burial ceremonial pits where that's where they used to bury their loved ones, and they used to hold ceremonies for that. And that was even they found evidence of them holding ceremonies before modern Homo sapien, meaning that even the previous hominids had some form or understanding of spirituality. Like they do have that, but it's just like to ignore all of that and to say like, oh yeah, evolution never happened. Like that's the part where
Are
it's
you
wrong.
oh, hold on, I don't mean to cut you off, man. You telling me you're trying to convince me that we came in some shape or form and we evolved from apes. So what about the other apes
Well, the
that were similar to
hominid
they just stop
species that
evolving?
resemble to hominid species that resemble apes, yeah. But again, it's like the difference between modern Homo sapien and like what you will see like gorillas, apes, and so on and so forth. There's a 2% difference in DNA. That's the reason why like wildlife conservationists, especially in Africa, that's why they'll wear masks and gloves, because if you interact with these animals and if they so happen to have a disease, because the genetic difference is only by 2%, you can actually transmit diseases between the two species. That's actually a thing. It's just that, like what happens is that we get too lost in the
So
sauce
so
about
what you're
thinking that
talking
these
about
things
is
didn't
more
actually happen.
so from
Uh-huh.
based on what you said, you're talking about more of crossbreeding.
Well, not
man, can you
crossbreeding
say
because,
that
well,
breed
okay,
word
there
one
was,
more time?
yeah, like we're not, yeah, stop using the breed. Like, all
That's
right,
what it sounds like because that doesn't sound
have
like
you
we
ever seen
evolved
have you ever
straight
seen the
from it.
documentary? Have you ever seen the documentary First People on PBS?
Nah, I've heard of it.
Okay, all right, so I'm gonna put it up in the picture thing, but I recommend that everybody,
Because he's already talking about crossbreeding. Like if we go back to what the actual conversation is about, he doesn't even understand the history of that word when he keeps saying mixing and breeding. So what you're saying is black people and non-black people should not be having children together.
Yeah, basically. Because the biological differences is
Nah,
too
nah,
great.
nah, nah. We gotta stop. We gotta stop. Cause you're gonna get me taken down off TikTok, and I think what you're saying is not helping anything. Let's talk about race within society. Let's stop going to biology and trying to.
But that's how you started with. Otherwise, this is a pointless conversation, to be honest.
No, it's
Nah,
not.
nah. It is a point. What you're saying is pointless.
You have to get to the
Are you one of
origin
those
point of
people
how
that
we
believe
even
that
got
we're
here to
like
even address
from the
how we're gonna go into the
Anunnaki
future.
and the Stardust? Like, are you someone that believes that humanity started in Africa and we're Africans?
No, we're not even Africans.
Okay,
Africans is
all
a
right. Have a
is
nice day,
Gotta
sir.
all
go.
right,
yeah.
All
yeah,
right,
Af-
then
that's enough.
that's yeah, we're not,
Shout out to the
we're not
Africans.
gonna do
Shout out to the Africans. We're not doing
yeah.
that. I'm good on that. You know what I'm saying? You could kind of tell. You could kind of tell he in that far right conspiracy YouTube type of hotepery. You know what I'm saying? The YouTube hotepery, YouTube hoteps. Like I can't do that, man. Like the whole it's just a shame. Some of y'all need to look at the brothers like John Henry Clark. Look up people that taught you about your history. John G. Jackson. You know what I'm saying? The furthest out there you can get is Ivan Van Sertima. You know, you got Joseph Ben Yakinen, you got Dr. Amos Wilson. You know, you got a lot of good scholars that well researched. Oh yes, absolutely. Shake hand to jump. You know what I'm saying? You got a lot of good scholars tell you a little bit of something about your history. We don't need to go into any type of conspiracy put out there by right wing groups to confuse black people and make them lose an allegiance to the motherland that the West has continued to pillage. So let's go to the next. Go ahead, Timothy. You want to say something?
Oh yeah, no, I was just gonna say, mm, the prioritization has to be of the unapologetic facts, and it has to be peer reviewed facts. It's got to be scholarly facts. It's got to be source checked. It's got to be confirmed. We can't just be like watching YouTube videos and immediately assuming that that's science. Like,
Yeah.
part of what he like, see, that's the thing. Like behind all these like made up pseudoscience things, there's always partial truth. Like, when you look at the Hebrew Israelites, they're the original shmooze, and replace the shmoo with the J. They were black. They were black African people. The original, absolutely, yes. But the Hebrew Israelites, what they do is they basically use Christian doctrine to concoct a giant range of a brand new set of beliefs based off of that. And so it's like, all right, you're falling into a trap. But then also it's like, all right, well, did African people come to the Americas? Yes, there's evidence that shows that they did. They did. But are they indigenous to the Americas? No, they're not. So that's where the pretendians get it messed up. So it's like there's always this like sense of like, oh, it's got to be something other than Africa, right? And that ideology comes from self-hate, y'all.
Yeah, sure do. Sure do. I done had people come up here and say, we're cosmic dust. We're not black, we're inwards. You know what I'm saying? Like y'all will claim anything but Africa and anything but black because Master told y'all that black was a bad thing. So y'all believe it. Y'all even use their book. The Black's Law Dictionary says that black means dead and evil. So y'all will use the Europeans' definition of who they say you are instead of loving yourself, loving where you come from, loving what you look like, and being proud. It's a shame. Let's go to the next guest, Marshall Maleni. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Hello, I'm 22. I'm Portuguese, and I'm he, him.
Portuguese is not a race. Are you a white Portuguese person?
I would say I'm more white, but my father's not. But I would say more white.
Black?
No, my father has like olive colored skin, I would say.
Your father is Captain Planet?
Not sure what you mean by that.
You might be a little young. What do you mean by he has multicolored skin?
No, I didn't say multicolored. I say it kind of has like olive color. Like it's not black, but it's like all olive colored skin.
Iridescent?
No, not green, bro. Like he just has like maybe like what a Hispanic person would have, that sort of color skin.
Hispanic is not a race either.
Okay,
all right, so we're just gonna go with white for you. And your pronouns?
He, him.
All right, talk to us.
Okay, so before I want to know why you think that people of different interracial love is not possible.
Well, we've already spoken on that quite a bit.
I know I hopped in a little late. Is there any way you could just explain it to me real quick?
The context of hostility, an environment where there is hostility, there is no peace. If there's no peace, there's no justice. No justice, no peace, no love. How do you find love in a hostile environment and still call it love? What is your take?
Well, my take is I married a Mexican woman and I love her very much. And
Mexican's not a race.
Okay.
You struggle with races. I've noticed that. That's how we know you're white.
Okay, so
yeah.
what would you call my wife then?
I don't know your wife.
Okay, what do you call people who were born in Mexico?
Mexican.
Okay, what race are they?
There's no such thing as a race for people that are... Do you know who Lupita Nyong'o is?
I don't.
Have you ever seen Black Panther?
Yeah.
Well, she's the main love interest in the first Black Panther movie, and I think she comes way at the end of the second Black Panther movie. But all of the people in Black Panther are black, yet Lupita Nyong'o is Mexican.
Okay, so you said Hispanic wasn't a race either.
It's not. Hispanic means you come from a Spanish-speaking country. Latin means, or Latino, Latina means that you come from a South American country, and yeah, and Mexican means you're from the country of Mexico.
Okay, so
Indigenous, maybe? Is that what you're going
okay,
for?
I mean, I wouldn't call her indigenous, but if that's what we're gonna go by,
Was
that's fine.
she 1,000 years were her ancestors in what we now call Mexico?
I would bet on that. I don't know that for sure, but her longtime family is from Mexico.
You know what's interesting?
What?
Talk about interracial relationships, and you don't know of the race of the person that you're in love with, right? So,
Well, I thought she was. I mean, she identifies herself as a Mexican person, but
again, Mexican is not someone's race. I'm from Texas. Is my race Texas?
no.
Okay, so you see,
Okay, but Hispanic, I
I speak
mean,
English.
indigenous.
If Englishic was a word, then I would be Englishic.
Okay, so how many people can be indigenous from everywhere in the world? But I mean, so what's your? I mean, your race. You're trying to say that black is a race.
You struggling with this, and you married her.
You married her? Wait, hold on. You're married to this person? You don't know what
Yeah.
race they are?
Yes, I'm married to her.
Oh, wait. She
privilege.
came up. She came up. This is Zaddy, y'all. This. She came
No,
up.
it
She
ain't
came up.
Zaddy, I
She didn't
promise
even
you
care
that.
enough about you.
I promise you that.
She saw dollar signs when she saw you.
No, I
brother,
wish she did, bro.
He
I wish
didn't
she
care
did.
enough about her nor her family because he doesn't even know what her race is or if she's
Bro, I
indigenous
don't
and
even
has a
know my
tribe. What
own
She
tribe
don't
she's
race.
care.
from.
And she
That's
don't care.
sad. Nope.
She don't
She
care that
gonna
he don't
win
know.
either way.
That's
Okay,
crazy.
so okay, please don't get mad at me if I say this, but
I'm not mad at you. I don't care.
okay, cool. So are you saying like, what race are you? I'm just gonna ask it like that because I'm getting real messed up here.
Me, I'm European.
Okay, how is European not a race, but then Mexican isn't?
There is no country called Europe.
It's a continent, bro. It's way bigger than a country.
Okay. All
Okay,
right. So that means
she's South American or she's North American.
no, she's indigenous. We've already figured that part out. You're the only one that's still lost.
Okay, so eh, how is European a race, but then North American's not a race?
I was playing with you when I said European. Do I really look like a European to you?
You know what, bro? I don't know. You could tell I'm lost, dog.
We can tell by you married somebody and you don't know their race. You very lost.
I'm lost. You guys got to help me out. So
We
then what?
don't have to.
Whoa. Then what's the point of what we're doing here? But
You
so
don't know
answer,
your wife. What was the point of you marrying somebody you don't know what race they are?
because in my opinion, it don't matter at all.
It don't matter because you don't have to move through the world as a person of color or black. You see that conveniently that's privilege. You don't have to think about race. So you don't even know what race your wife is or the obstacles that her community might face. You don't care.
When I love someone, I know everything about them. I know everything about my wife. I know what she favorite foods are. I know what part of the country her family is from. I know her grandma. I know her grand. I know everything about it.
Okay, so I know all
That's
that.
how
I know all that about my wife,
Huh?
and I pretty sure
And you don't know her race though. How you know
Okay.
all that and don't know her race?
bro, because I do know her race. If
What's
you
her
look up,
race?
if you look it up, where she was born and where her heritage is, it will say that her race is Hispanic.
Sir, that is not a race. That's a descriptor.
Okay. I'm gonna calm down. So
You probably turning beak red over there because you didn't marry somebody you don't know what race they is.
Okay, so
They
can I
gonna go
ask?
through hell because of you not knowing nothing about race or racism.
Okay,
All right.
before so before you hold on.
Yeah.
So what race are you? Can you just please answer the question honestly?
White. I told you.
No.
Yeah, man.
I'm Asian.
I'm brother legend black, but when you see
Bro,
me,
so how can you say you're Asian when Asia is a continent? That's not a race.
Exactly. So how you know that, but you don't know the woman you lay outside of every night? Don't know her race.
I do, bro. That's what.
What is her race?
It's, so
All right.
I mean honestly,
We gotta go to the next guest. Listen, man. If you don't even know what race is, you shouldn't be on the panel talking about interracial love. All right.
I don't think you guys know what it is.
All right. That's nice. We don't care what you think we know. Have a nice
It's
day. All right. Let's go to the next guest. Mr. V underscore Junior. What's going on? Give us your age, race, and pronouns.
Oh, can you hear me?
Yeah, we hear you.
I'm indigenous. I'm Polynesian, and my wife is white as snow on Christmas Day. So that's where we are. We're an interracial couple. I'm just curious, when you say no such thing as interracial love, I'm scared you're putting out there for the children out there that are on TikTok. You know what I'm saying? Because essentially TikTok is a children's app. So I'm scared what you're telling the
I
other
hope
kids.
all the children follow my platform. All the
I know.
children. Follow
I
Brother
understand that.
Legend, man. Follow Big Brother Legend, man. I'm stay away. There's a book out there by a brother named Jay Starr on Amazon. It says stay away from sneaky snow bunnies. Buy that book for your children.
Oh, no, don't do that. I mean, I love my wife, you know what I'm saying? We're married, you know what I'm saying? And I hope that I
Mr.
just
V, stop you
history.
right
Hold on, wait a second. History is history. The
just real
present is
quick, Mr.
now.
V.
That's why they call it
Mr.
a
V.
gift. Yeah, go ahead.
Mr. V. Let me ask you something real quick. So, do you know what type of levels of systemic oppression are facing Black people?
I mean,
Like at the hands of, do you know
probably what
anything
I
about
see.
that?
Maybe, honest truth. Maybe probably what I see from obviously all
Timothy.
the social media, right? Obviously, what I
Okay,
see from
so
that, right?
basically, you're basing your opinion off of what you have seen via social media, which
Wait,
is not an accurate representation of how Black people globally are, and also a representation seen on social media does not adequately describe that Black people are also not a monolith. So you're coming up onto a panel where we're having conversations about interracial relations and how it is detrimental to Black people. And your advice is to, you know what? I don't really know much about the topic, but nah, you
no,
guys don't talk about it. Don't
no,
engage in it.
Oh,
no,
Don't tell the
but
little children, to prioritize themselves as Black children. Don't do that.
hold
but
on.
Is
that,
that
Because
what you're
Timothy,
trying
that's
to
one
say,
way
Mr.
of
V?
doing it. But Mr. V, do you know how many young indigenous girls have been missing that are still missing? See, sometimes y'all need to throw their community on them. Do you know?
no.
Do you know how many indigenous girls are coming up missing or their bodies are being found on side of
But
work sites?
but I think that all
I think that you should consciously
all
be
little
aware of what's
girls are
happening
getting
in your
missing. I
community.
think that's a whole
Since you
different
ran away
issue.
from your community to marry a YT woman, you no longer care about the things that are happening to the women a part of your community. See, do you know all the young girls that are being harmed or being unalived and their bodies are being found on side of the roads?
I think that's
Do
all
you
races
know?
and
No,
communities.
that's happening to indigenous girls, most importantly, at a
And
mass
all
rate.
that's all girls. That's not just
No.
indigenous
It's
girls.
happening to a young indigenous
Yeah.
young girls a lot at a massive rate. They are disappearing or their bodies are showing up and they're unalived in ditches and unbelievable things are happening to them. So why aren't you concerned about your community and the things that are happening in 2024 to your community and the young women that are being harmed and not protected because you decided to leave your community and go outside and find the same people that are over there colonizing the land in which they left to y'all after they raped y'all for everything y'all had. And now they're coming back and they're taking more land and they're unaliving your young girls because they're not
I
protected by someone like you that left them to be just out there. And
That's not how it
anyone,
works, though.
and guess what? It's not black men that are out there harming them. It's not indigenous men that are out there harming them. It's white men. So your woman you got, her daddy and cousin them are out there unaliving and raping them young girls.
I
So
don't think
you should
it's
spend more time worried about what's happening to them young girls in your community than you are over here trying to tell us what we should say. Because our children live through this reality. Our children are walking through this every day. So now you're trying to shield the white kids from the reality our kids have to walk through every day. You know how
I
many
don't
times my child got called the N-word, literally physically harmed by a non-black child?
I
Don't
don't
come
think
over here
that
telling us nothing about the children
I
when
don't
our children are facing the real realities of racism, criticism, oppression, even when it comes to their hair.
I
And you
don't
gonna
think
come over here and talk about, oh, you got a white woman, but you don't even know what's happening to the indigenous people and the young girls that are being unalived. You don't know about the drugs and alcohol problem that they're having over there.
I
Don't
don't
come
think
over
it's
here
fair.
worrying about us. Y'all can't fix us. You need to fix your own community. That's the problem. A lot of y'all think y'all can fix black people. Black people don't need y'all help. We need y'all to back up, go focus on your shit, and then go talk to your people, and everybody will be good. But you
I
come over here telling us what you think. I don't care what you think, feel, or know, because obviously in this situation, you ain't even educated about your own people. So take
I
a breath, step away. You got
You
Becky
need to
on your
take a
arm,
breath.
right? How about you ask her how many young indigenous girls been unalive?
I
She
don't think
don't
it's
know because she don't care. And she
I
made
don't
sure to take you away from your community so you don't give a damn about them either. They're very good for that. White women will remove you from your entire family and make sure that she has you in her hand and you'll be literally paying attention and putting all your money in her shit and you won't even look at your own people to make sure they ain't struggling. Because guess what? A lot of indigenous people right now are struggling and their land still being taken away from them. They're being pushed off their land right now. And you brought your ass over here to tell us how you feel about something. How about
I
you feel about your goddamn community and go help them instead of going up there laying up with funky K Cooch Karen ass Becky?
I don't think it's fair to say that
Wait,
just
hold on,
because
hold on, hold on, hold on, hold on. Hold on, we're gonna give you a moment to put yourself back together. Yo, yo, D. Oh my goodness. Y'all, man, give D, man. Give D Diva. She did that. She did that. I'm glad she had the time because I couldn't have said it better myself. My goodness. Oh man, I think I heard an overseer in the room, Mr. V Jr. I think we heard your overseer. Did y'all want to have a word? I'm gonna give you a few moments to pick your honor up off the floor.
so I don't I don't saying her, but I don't just because I married a woman that's outside of my race doesn't mean that I don't care about my race. Okay, I guess by circumstance I did fall in love with a woman out of my race, but that never means that I lost my own feelings for my own race. That's not fair to say because I guess maybe as I guess when you guys talk as a group, maybe that might be the case, but maybe for me it's not. I understand that, but I don't think that I don't think that that educated woman thinks that indigenous people are getting unalived. That's not fair to the
All
other.
right, right. Listen, we can't let you say that though. You know what I'm saying? Because it is true. If you haven't looked it up, just say you don't know. We're not going to. You can't be a denier of someone else's oppression. If you don't know that that's true, then just say you don't know. But don't come up here and belittle or deny what's going on with other people. We don't want to do that. Second of all, um, who named Polynesia Polynesia? Who named Polynesia Polynesia? Who named it that? Did y'all name it that, or did European settlers come and name it that?
Probably European servants probably made that
Yeah,
name. Yeah.
because it has a Roman suffix. So Polynesia is a Latin suffix, Asia. So that being the case, it sounds like Polynesia was colonized by Europeans, was it not?
Yeah, some by Europeans. So like certain islands were doing by Europeans, like Fiji and all them, and then some like Guam, some more Micronesian. So that's more Chinese and Asian
All
influenced,
right,
right?
yeah.
So half and half.
But where you're from, Polynesian, um, it was colonized by Europeans. Do you think Polynesian people should forgive or have forgiven Europeans? Have Europeans done anything worth forgiveness to Polynesian people?
Oh wow, that's a good question. I don't. Oh wow. Maybe not, but maybe at my age or a little bit younger, I don't really like see that as an issue, right? On the
Right.
basis
And,
that
but then you
maybe
said earlier that just because you married a European descendant woman doesn't mean you don't care about your people. But now you're saying because you're older and married to a European woman that you don't care. So do you
no,
see? You see,
I do
you
care
don't
about my
care,
people.
but you
I
don't
no,
because you
I
just
do care
said
about my
you
people, but I
don't.
don't. Okay, I'm sorry. Go ahead. I apologize. Go ahead.
Those paws to drop bare maple.
Yeah. Oh, the pause for Barry Maple.
Yeah, because he's a coon. He got me. He got my account clip.
I didn't
Oh,
report you actually. That wasn't me. That was not me.
Bye.
I
wow.
was responding to somebody else.
Bear regularly comes to panels and he likes to disrupt black spaces, and he also reports everybody, so he needs to be banned.
Okay.
The last I saw him, I saw Diva actually respond to him and say, "Did you just report me?" And then he said, "I'm just getting started." So yeah,
Okay.
yep, that's Bear. Yeah.
All right.
So any other black content creator listening in, if you ever see Bear on your panels, immediately block and mute.
Mm-hmm. There's some people I want to say that about, but I'm gonna keep it pushing. Anyway, so Mr. V,
Sorry about that.
yeah. So that being the case, that your people were colonized by these people, and these people haven't done anything to make amends or make things better for your people in some sort of act of reparations or forgiveness. For you to find love in those that have oppressed your people um, shows that your interests are not aligned with your people, but rather with just yourself.
But I
So
don't. But I don't understand how. Like I understand what you're saying. I just don't understand how their descendants are that their descendants should make amends for their
it should, yeah, because
ancestors'
because the,
problems,
because
right? Their
their
ancestors' issues.
descendants should say we benefited because of our parents stealing your land and creating economies backed by the labor of your people and your ancestors and just taking whatever we want. Um, because we lived nice, cozy lives because of that, we should fight for you so that we can rename your land back to its original name. We should fight for you to make sure that you can relearn your cultures and not have to speak in English and be taught English and all this other stuff. There's a lot that they could do that they don't do and that they continue to exploit from your people. For you to turn around and find love in that demographic shows that once again your interests are not in alignment with the best interests of your people, but rather just your own selfish interest and lust, to be honest. But I doubt we're going to get you to see that here today. I appreciate you for coming up. Let me go to the next guest. Denzel, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
25, black here.
All right, talk to us.
Um, I mean, this is my opinion, but like I said, I mean, I didn't say yet, but me personally, I wouldn't be with like a YT person, but I still feel like love doesn't really have like a color.
I think it does.
Yeah.
You know what the
How
color of
come?
love is?
What's up?
Black is the color of love.
I
Shout out to
mean,
all
me
the black
personally,
people in love.
I mean, I feel like race is just something that's
So,
like used to like separate us from each other and like hate on
who
other
did the
people.
separating?
What's
Who
up?
separated us?
I feel like we separate ourselves from each other.
So, in society, do you think that black people have power to separate and create division, or do you think white people and non-black people do?
I feel like we both have power to separate each other,
So
all
we
of us.
both have power to separate each other. So when you look at the financial standing of black community compared to non-black community, who do you think has more income?
Um, Unfortunately, like white tea people do.
So do you think in society when they do education, let's talk about school. So in school, do you think that they give you the real education when it comes to Black people?
Wait, can you repeat that? I was reading the comments, so I got
So
distracted.
in society, in schools, do you think they give you the factual history of Black people?
Oh yeah, of course not.
Okay, so in this dynamic that you're speaking, where exactly is the power that Black people have to move away or to push back on any other community?
I feel like we have power like within ourselves. Like
Goku.
yeah, like Goku.
Like Goku, yeah. Kamehameha blast. I just be Kamehameha blasting people. We just seen Diva do that. That was wild, man. Shout out again to Diva. But no, seriously, I can think of the hair salon, the nail salon, the Chinese food spot, the gas station, all owned by Asian, or Southeast Asian immigrants in Black communities. What Black-owned business do you see in Asian communities?
I mean, that's also like our fault though, because we
Okay,
don't like
so
spend money on our
so
businesses.
so
So
here's the thing. Here's the thing. You said we have the power to do something, and yet economically we have not proven to use that power, and now you're saying that's our fault that we can't do it, but at the same time you're saying that we can do it. So are you saying that do you think Black people are dumb? Do you think we're like stupid? You think we would just cuz what is your thesis? What is your ontology?
I don't think that we're stupid, but I think that we got like manipulated.
So we got manipulated for how long? How many generations have we or have how many generations of manipulated people have we had? Like really like the gall of what you're saying, like the the core audacity that you must have to believe that we have a power to discriminate. Yet, all in our neighborhoods, in every Black neighborhood, there are non-Black businesses thriving. Yet, when you go to their neighborhoods, you don't see these same Black businesses. You do see Black businesses in Black neighborhoods. So, what you must be saying then is that Black people are, amongst all other people, the least smart because they have the tools, yet you're saying we don't use them. Like that's what just doesn't make sense. Because I'm telling you, what makes more sense is that we don't have those tools in the first place. And then on top of that, even if we do have those tools to discriminate and divide ourselves from other people, when the hell have we used them? Because we started rock and roll and we don't got that no more. We started the blues, we don't got that no more. We started jazz, we don't got that no more. We started every genre, we started country music, we don't got that no more. And we're rapidly losing hip hop. So where do we, like people will say Eminem is the greatest rapper, which is wild. But anyway, where do we practice this discrimination that you are so sure that we have a power to use?
I feel like we have something that's better than the tool. We have God.
All right, bye-bye, Denzel. I'm not doing that, yo. I'm not doing that. When they can't, you see, when people can't win an argument, they turn to God. When you go to God, that just means that I sent you there. You know what I'm saying? I sent you to the Lord in that conversation. We're done. You in heaven. Goodbye. Let's go to the next guest. What up, Sister T? I just seen you join. Peace to your queen. Did you want to speak?
Hey.
Yeah.
No, somebody sent me an invite, so I thought
Oh, that was
somebody
me.
needed me up here for something. I didn't.
My bad. Well, if you want to speak on it, you can. You can talk with us. You know how you do.
Indeed.
All right. Everybody, Tia, Timothy, and Diva, we are all part of B1initiative.org. B1 Initiative is the link in my bio. We're building resources for African descendants worldwide. Sankofapedia is our project. Check out Sankofapedia on our website, B1initiative.org. We're tax deductible nonprofit. If you want to send some donation dollars, you can. But yeah, check out b1initiative.org to learn about us. All right, Christian, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
26, black, he, him pronouns. With the last guy, I agree with him with a lot of the statements, but some of the stuff was just, he was kind of losing me at the end. But anyway, I think he, like, the guy, like, yeah, that was kind of wild. But anyway, I don't know, like, I understand the whole, like, not wanting to, like, date someone outside of your race. I understand that, like, that can be problematic. And sometimes, like, I have friends in my life who dated, like, white people, and, like, there's just certain things that they just can't relate to. And I'm like, I mean, that's your boyfriend, that's your girlfriend. You know, these are difficult conversations, these are things you're gonna have to deal with. But I still don't believe that I should tell someone that you should not date someone outside of your race. You should not date someone outside of your culture. And I just feel like
I
telling
don't think
people
we're
like,
saying that.
oh,
I don't think we're saying that. I think we gotta maybe.
well, I feel like we're like
I,
with the
I
title right now. Like,
yeah. It says there's
is
no
there
such
such thing
thing
as
as
interracial
interracial
love?
love. People can date who they want
I'm,
to date. Everyone that dates not in love.
but you're not in
Everyone
love
that
with
dates
someone,
might
have kids with
convince
them.
themselves they're in love. But there's a difference between love and Stockholm syndrome. People with Stockholm syndrome do think they're in love. So there's that. But
But that's the thing. Like, I just like I don't think every white tea person is like that though. Like that's why I feel like a lot of times people think that you're out here dating like a Trump supporter
So this
sometimes.
is the issue
Like,
that because one of your parents is not black, right?
yeah, his mom made great salad, right? Your mom made
So
great salad.
no, my mom's a black woman.
your
Oh,
dad is the one that's not black?
he's from El Salvador.
You could just say no. So in
Well,
this
no, well, I mean, yeah,
conversation,
no.
it's a level of comprehension because you're compromised in how you think about love. And so if for black people that are truly like looking at the issues that black people are facing in their oppression, we understand that the only way that we'll be liberated is with each other. In this conversation, you're saying that we're telling someone what to do. Nothing up there says you have to do anything. It is very much speaking to the interracial love, quote unquote, does not exist. Because every time, even in this conversation, when we're talking about black liberation and black people, you, a person that is born from two different races of people, feel the need to say that no, it's okay. Listen, when we're talking about elevating our community and making our people aware of the problems that come with interracial relationships, there's no way that in an interracial relationship, someone loves you when they can watch you be oppressed, and nowhere in society do they do anything to push black people forward. They're okay with fucking you, they're just not okay with freeing you. And that is a reality that a lot of y'all do not want to accept.
I also feel like you got this thing that every person is like that, and I don't believe that's true. Like you're insinuating that every person that you're dating is going to be that way.
Are black people still dealing with the oppression they're dealing with? Why are our
Yes,
children still got getting called
definitely.
N-word? Why are our children's hair being policed? They're getting kicked out of school, suspended, or literally getting cut. Their hair is
I
getting cut
don't
out of their
disagree with
heads.
anything. I
The
don't disagree
basic
with anything you're saying
humanity,
about
the
that.
basic humanity of black people. If you're telling me
Don't disagree
that
with that.
some people love, everybody's not like that. They're not even fighting for the liberation of black children that they're creating.
How
Then
come they don't
that
got?
person, you
How
should not
come?
be
How
dating
come?
someone like that then. So
But how come?
why are you going out your way dating someone like that who does not care about you or care about your people? That is a problem. So you should not be going out of your
Honey,
way to date
I
someone
it's
who
think
a
does
you're
not care.
collective.
I think you're thinking about it in the wrong way. It's more like you would rather spend your time and resources and energy trying to find someone outside of your community and decipher who is quote unquote a safe option, if there's even such a thing, rather than dating people within your own community where you don't have to worry about those things. Like,
I
it's
mean,
just a little weird.
I have a lot of friends right now who only solely date black people, and they're not in like marriage. I have a lot of female friends. They're not
How
married. I
do
have a
you
lot of
correlate I only date a skin color that is not mine? How do you that has nothing to do with the person's soul, their heart, or any being? How do you say
no.
I don't date my race? I just
What do you
date
mean?
black
That's
people. I solely date black people. Do you know how asinine that sounds? My family is full of black people and they are all different. That's a fetish. What is the similarity between all black people?
so. What do you mean? So you're telling me like, but isn't that's still part of your race? What do you mean?
You said they're not
So
black.
you're not dating
You
people
said they're
outside of
not black.
black people are
You
not a
said they're
race.
not black. Listen to what you said. You said they're not black and they only date black people.
No, what I'm saying, I have friends who are black. I have
Okay, that's
already I have
different.
like
That's
family
within the
members, I
community
have
that
like
you're
cousins,
raised in.
right? So,
So
and
then
I've
what are
had
you
people.
saying?
What I'm trying to say is that I know people who are there are black people who are dating other black people, and they are not having the same type of success with their people that they're dating. So, what is wrong with people just
What?
openly dating other people outside of like not just like what's wrong with people just dating people in general? And
The
like, hey,
problem is that
I want to find someone that I love, and I don't want
Christian,
to
the
put
problem
race and
is
make that
that
a
if we're actually looking and approaching the situation realistically, the problem is that first and foremost, the concept of love that is in and of itself Eurocentric. Brother Legends has already described that several times. There's literally full blown like research papers that have been done on this, as well as the studies of ancient African societies and
then what's the
cultural
concept of black
norms.
love then? What is
So
that?
when we're talking about the actual construct, like based on like, hey, everything's got to be, love is love. I got to find
Then what's the
love. I got
concept
to
of
do all
black
this
love
other
then?
stuff.
What does that mean?
Our modern understanding of what we even deem love to be literally comes from
What
Europeans.
is black people modern? What
So
is black people's
also on
idea of
top of
love
that,
then?
what was your question, man?
What
You're
what are
talking
black
over
people's idea of
everybody
love
again.
then?
One more time.
What is the idea of black love?
What is the
Ubuntu,
idea of black love? Why do you,
I
exactly?
want to know that.
Umoja, Ujama. I'm sorry, collective responsibility.
Hmm.
I am who I am because of who we all are.
Yeah. And see, the thing is as a black person, it should be a priority for us to know that, for us to know those concepts, for us to actively engage in decolonizing our minds, because even our understanding of what is masculine versus what is feminine, even the fact that we divide the two literally comes from a Eurocentric construct. Like that's from Eurocentric culture. That's their societal norms, not ours. We had no choice but to embrace them, because if we didn't embrace them, they would unalive us.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
All right. Yeah, I can barely
Same
make out
here.
what you're saying, Christian. It sounds like you're dancing in the rain. Um, yeah, I'm gonna go to the next
I don't know,
question.
yeah, that's why.
All right. Whew, there's a lot of white noise. Um, a lot of unmelanated noise. Mojo Ryder, give us your age, race, and pronouns, please.
Um, Fine. Um, she, her pronouns and white.
Okay, talk to us.
So I have more of a question, and that is, I understand that race is important in relationships and being able to sustain a long-term satisfying
That
love,
race
because
isn't important.
that it is, but I also think that education and educational levels are things that bind people together, because you know people like to marry people or do better with people that are in the same educational bracket, and black women are the most educated demographic in the world. I don't know if you know that they hold higher degrees, more academic accolades than any other demographic.
What? Are you serious? Wow, I had no idea, man. I wish I knew black women. I had no idea. Wow, I
I'm
have
not being an ass, I'm
six
sorry.
sisters and a wife. They all have degrees.
Well, yeah, they're very well educated
Hmm.
as a demographic, and black men are suffering in the fact that they don't have those same demographics for education.
Hmm.
So I think that kind of compels black women to sometimes look outside of the race, and you're getting more and more interracial marriage because of it, because of the educational
Okay, so
level.
So you
freeze.
created a thesis
On
that
there. I
says
knew she was going there.
I knew she was going there too. You created a thesis all on your own. Do you have a book that you can back with this any of this with?
No,
Any
sir.
study?
I just believe that people who love each
Do
other love
you
each other.
believe that black people are truly being educated when they go to predominantly white institutions to learn things, or do you think that they just learn things and pass tests in order to be able to climb a ladder that wasn't built for them to be climbing?
And I don't know that. I'm sure that the educational system is not stacked well for people of color I'm sure that there's a
I'm not
struggle
saying
among
what
Black
color.
community.
But you know what I was wondering, ma'am? When you just said what you said, Black women are the
Yes.
least likely of all groups of women to date out. Do you know what the most likely of women to date out is?
White women.
No, it's Asian.
Asian.
Asian? Okay.
So
I
even in
know
that
that.
example, it's a no. No, it's not a no. It's a hell no.
Yeah, like that just basically your thesis isn't true because black women choose black men more than any, one else. So if that
I,
were
I
if
just,
what you said were true and education mattered, as to, because black women are the most educated and black men are the least educated, as far as having degrees and stuff like that. So you would assume that if your assumption, your ontology were correct, then black people wouldn't be choosing each other at all. But they actually choose each other more than they choose anyone else.
and that might be true. I just would hope that people that
You don't
love each other could get past social constructs and just love each other
get
and
past
have all
social
of those good
constructs.
things.
To you, race is just a social construct. Is that correct?
No, I don't know the struggle of the Black community because I'm not Black, right? I only
Really?
know from
You
Black
don't know the
friends.
struggle of the black community? I
I
had no clue. I would have thought you knew everything about it.
No, I'm not being a jerk. Seriously. I mean, I don't know it. I would be lying if I said, you have to live something to know it. Do I listen to people
Wow.
when they talk? Yes. I listen to your live a lot because I want to be, I guess, aware.
I have a question.
No, don't ask her no questions. I blocked
Okay.
her. She can't be in my lives. Y'all ain't got no business in my lives. We ain't doing that. I watch you all the time. Like, no, sir. No, sir. So she messed up saying she watched my
Tell
lives
me I'm
all the time.
fetishizing.
Yeah, I ain't got nothing for you here. We good on that. I know y'all are watching, but don't come up on stage and think that's gonna get you some points. I know y'all are
Yeah,
watching, but don't
I
come up
am.
here talking about I watch you all. I don't want y'all. That this live is not meant for y'all. But y'all can come up here. You know what I'm saying? We can ask you some questions. We're not really here to teach you nothing, but we here to teach the brothers and sisters that's watching. But we ain't doing this for y'all. So don't come up here talking about you watch me all the time. Right? She was FBI. I'm not doing that. Little Pat 43. Give us your age, race, and pronouns, please. I watch you all the time.
Hi, I am a he, him, and I was born mixed. My mother trapped down a black man. They're now divorced. I live with my father, and I absolutely hate interracial love.
So you were born mixed. You sure not shaken or stirred?
I guess you could say that, but I always
What I'm
resent my
saying is
mother for.
mixed is not a race. So, um, are you a descendant of a black parent? Oh, okay, she ran. All right, let's go to the next guest. Truth Hurts. Give us your age, race, pronouns, please. Actually, you don't have to do that if you don't want to. We see your face.
For sure. I mean,
All
I
right,
guess I'm 26, Black American. I don't do the pronoun thing, but I guess he, him.
all right, talk to
Um,
us, brother.
but yeah, I mean, as far as the conversation goes, I definitely, me personally, I don't believe in interracial dating. I believe, can I say black or could I say be okay? Because
Yeah, you say black.
okay, I think that black men should be with black women. But I think people probably gonna disagree with me on this, and that's okay. I'm a little bit more radical when it comes to it. So not that I think anything is wrong with it, but me, I prefer Black American women. I want a woman that comes from my culture, that's going to be able to understand me and my history a little bit more. But that's just my own preference. If people disagree about the race thing, and if they anywhere else is we all black as one, that's fine. But I prefer my own ethnicity of women. But as far as that, what she said about black men are suffering, I really want people to stop looking at these numbers and stuff they see on the internet and try to promote some BS thing. Oh, black men are suffering. Black men are not suffering. We not suffering. Last time I checked, you can be successful and you don't necessarily have to have a college degree. I have a college degree myself and I don't even use my college degree. So all of that black men are, there's plenty of black men that are in trades, that own businesses, just like black women. So this whole notion that you're suffering if you don't have a college degree is bullshit. That's not true. We're not suffering. Do you have black men and black women? Or are we talking about the situation for black men because what she brought up? Do you have black men that's going through some stuff? Yes, but don't generalize us and say, well, black women are getting degrees and black men aren't getting degrees, so black men are suffering. And like you said, I'm glad you checked it. If that was the case, if it's all about capitalism and making some money, then you would have a lot of black women dating outside of the race. But no, black women are more loyal to the race than black men. Actually, black men date outside their race, odds combined more than any other group of men combined together. And you're correct, Asian women they outside their race more than anybody else. But I just hate that notion. And for you to have the audacity to say that in front of a room full of black people talking about we suffering, what is you talking about? Ladies, you crazy? Who's suffering? What you talking about? But that's all I want to say. I'll chime in when I can.
Absolutely. Well, appreciate you, brother. I see he got 48 laws of power in his Ivy, man. We appreciate you coming up. Go ahead, sister.
Don't feed into narratives. Know what information to give. You ain't got to go into that. I gave her what she needs to be given. Like sometimes you feed their narrative when you give that extra information. All she needs to know is it ain't us. We ain't it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Well, yeah. Well, it's been quite a night, y'all. I appreciate everybody that gave gifts and came up and spoke. I think that brother just kind of ended it on a good note. I like to try to end it with somebody with some damn sense. So, Truth, I appreciate you. I encourage you to come and talk with us some more, man. That's absolutely facts, and I can rock with you on the Black American women. You know, as a preference, I would say I have a preference. I have an allegiance to Black American women first and foremost, as a Black American man. But I do see sisters all across the world as my sisters. You know what I'm saying? At the same time, but yeah, like our women here are the least married in you know all of America and I think the world, to be honest. They need us. They need us to have an allegiance to them. So yeah, I could rock with that too. But yo, appreciate everybody. B1initiative.org. The link is in my bio. Don't forget to check it out. We're building Sankofapedia, a free online encyclopedia for African descendants. It's basically a Black version of Wikipedia that centers on the Afrocentric perspective, not just African history, world history through an Afrocentric perspective. We got citations, all of that. If you want to learn more, I got the video on my profile, b1initiative.org. That's me, Tia, D Diva at the bottom, and Brother Timothy right there. You can join our Discord, make donations, whatever you want. All in my bio. I appreciate y'all. We're building with Black people. And mad love for y'all. Catch y'all next time. One love. Peace.
We out.